The Jalen Milroe experience and era at Alabama, it's over. I know some Alabama fans are gonna like the sound of that, and others, not so much. But hey, it is what it is. And I think what hurts me the most, and it's what hurts me for him, is I hate to see him go out this way. And I think what hurts me the most, and it's what hurts me for him, is I hate to see him go out this way. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I got good and bad news. The good news is we hit 350,000 subscribers before Christmas. Clap it up, clap it up. Everybody give themselves a nice warm pat on the back, round of applause. We did it. The bad news is, although we achieved that goal, I'm just going to come out and say it, I lied. The main goal, not December long, was to hit 355,000 subscribers. Now hear me out before you come at me too hard. Hear me out. I believe in this life, when you're on the journey to hitting a big goal, you got to have small goals. And that's what 350K was. It was a small goal. It was a nice even number. But now we're trying to hit 350K or 55K before Christmas. So consider subscribing, helping us out. This is the cringy and corny part where I say, let's get into the video. So yeah, let's just shut the crap up and get into the original video. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great start to your weekend. Hope all of you having a great Saturday. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, we got some big time, and I mean big time news to talk about. It involves a player that I'm sure at least 99.9% of you watching this video know, Jalen Milroe. And by the way, I gotta bring this up. I don't know if it feels weird to y'all, but it most definitely feels weird to me to be making a video like this, because normally on Saturdays and the weekends, we're making reaction videos in front of the camera. But we're doing things a little differently this Saturday because there's a lot of news we're going to talk about, and this is your warning and disclaimer. This will not be the only video we post today. They're probably going to post 2 more, bare minimum. So although there's not college football games going on outside of Army and Navy, I'm going to be uploading a ton of college football content, so come on back to the channel for that. Getting back on track here though, in today's video, we got to talk about some news that involves Alabama and Jalen Milroe, and it appears to seem that Jalen Milroe is done at Alabama. Yes, that is right. You heard me correctly. Jalen Milroe is D-O-N-E. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. And another minor topic we're going to speak on. We're going to sprinkle this in the video as well because it's trending all over Twitter due to your boy Matt. Or I guess a better way of saying it is courtesy of your boy Matt. Yeah, that makes more sense. We're going to take a look at Oregon's schedule for next season. It just got released to the public and it's laughable to say the least. You know the intro. Strap in, buckle up, get you a snack, get you a popcorn, get your favorite meal you like to eat when you watch a video, because trust me, I do the same thing. But all right, Matt, blah, blah, shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, first things first, we're going to take a look at this. I was scrolling on Twitter, like one does, and I stumbled across Oregon's schedule for next season. I believe it was posted by the official Oregon Ducks University Twitter account or something like that. And I normally don't really care too much to look at teams' schedule for the next season year after, because it's like, what are we doing? I try to be a prisoner of the moment in my everyday life, so I don't really care what's going on next year. But for some reason, I was like, I'll take a peek at it and good googly moogly. This is the Oregon Duckies schedule, and no, this is not a joke. They open up with Montana State, then they play Oklahoma State, the worst team in the Big 12, sorry and sucky Northwestern, Oregon State, and then they go to Penn State. That one's respectable. Although Penn State can't beat a top 10 team, that's really a different conversation for a different day. Then after Penn State, you play one of the worst college football programs of all time, Indiana. I believe they have the most losses in college football history. Say what you want about Indiana, sure they're in the playoffs, but I know you know it, they can't compete with the big boys. But it gets even worse. Sorry and sucky Rutgers, mid at best Wisconsin, who gave them a fight this year, Iowa, Minnesota, USC, who I don't even think they made a bowl game this year, did they? And Washington. I tweeted a picture of the schedule, and as you can see right here, I stated, no way this is a real schedule. I didn't think too much about it, but fast forward time a little bit, the tweets got over 1 million views, and everybody in the comments is like, wait a minute. Is this real? I mean, that is one of the worst schedules I've ever seen, and I agree. And I don't know why people are trying to defend it. Take a look at this. At Penn State, at Iowa, and at Washington, who has the second longest home winning streak in college football, is a pretty hard schedule. What's the problem here? Could you imagine? There's an actual person out here trying to say, this schedule you're looking at right here is a quote-unquote hard schedule. Get the F out of here, you nerd. It's one thing to say, okay, Matt, I don't think it's as easy as you're trying to say it is. It's another thing to say it's a hard schedule. And this person has the best reply. Short, simple, and to the point. This is a joke of a schedule. If they lose one game, then it's embarrassing. And I could read off all the comments, but you know what everybody's saying. It's a weak schedule. I hate to say this so early, but how in the world does Oregon, or would Oregon, not make the playoffs next year? You have to assume, right? Ohio State did it this year. Even if you lose 2 games, you're getting in the 12-team playoff, right? Well, how in the world could Oregon? I have a hard time seeing them lose 2 games. How in the world could they lose 3 games? I want you to think about this. Their second toughest game on the schedule is Indiana. Indiana! We could talk about this schedule all day. It's an interesting conversation, but we gotta get to move on to the main topic, the main encore, main reason you clicked onto this video. What in the world is going on with Jalen Milroe? I shouldn't have to give you an introduction for Jalen Milroe, but I will give you a brief run through. Very talented quarterback, led Alabama, who wasn't that good last year, to the playoffs. They overachieved this year. It's been slightly disappointing, but I still think he's pretty good. He's most certainly had his ups and downs, and he's arguably the most controversial quarterback Alabama's had in quite some time. Even with him leading Alabama to the playoffs last year, there's still a good portion of Alabama fans that aren't a fan of his, and they think Alabama should be starting somebody else. I'm going to try not to get into that too much, but if you know, you know. But here's where things start to get interesting. So Jalen Milroe, I don't know if some of you know this or not, he can return next year for Alabama if he chooses to. Some Alabama fans have been very clear and evident in stating they do not want that to happen. They don't want another year of Jalen Milroe. And it's for obvious reasons. Some of these fans feel like Alabama's reached their peak with Jalen Milroe. He can't win a national championship. He's not good enough of a passer, and the list goes on and on and on. If you got to ask me, I think he's overhated by some of these Alabama fans. However, they do have a good argument because when you watch some of these games, especially this year, you're like, well, dang, man. Milroe, he looks awful out there at times. There's no hiding that. In the later half of the season this season, he's been struggling to read defenses. But where Milroe and Alabama's been at their best, last year and this year, is when Milroe's running the ball. But that's also part of the problem because once you can stop the Milroe run, like Oklahoma did, Alabama ain't got nothing else to do. I share all that with you so you have some context to what we're about to get into. The Jalen Milroe experience and era at Alabama, it's over. I know some Alabama fans are going to like the sound of that, and others, not so much. But hey, it is what it is. Whoa. Hold on. I know what you're sitting there saying. Okay, Matt, that's all fine and dandy, but how do you know that? Like, what leads you to tell us that? Great question, my friend. I'll let you answer it. In a recent interview, Jalen Milroe, he kind of slipped up a little bit. He stated, and I quote, this was in reference to the Alabama quarterback room in 2025. It's going to be a really talented group that's going to be in position to do a lot of special things next year. I'm excited for those guys for the opportunity that's presented to them. Yeah, there you have it. You do not got to be a rocket scientist to put 2 and 2 together. He's insinuating he's not coming back. You don't say that I'm excited for those guys for the opportunity that's presented to them if you're coming back. That just doesn't make any sense. He's gone, man. There's no way around it, and there's no way to even try to act like he's coming back because you don't say that if you're coming back. And it does sadden me because I like Milroe. Nobody was prouder to be the Alabama quarterback than Jalen Milroe himself. He loved the university. Was he the greatest quarterback I've ever seen? Absolutely not even close. But man, oh man, he showed you some flashes of greatness. And not just flashes, my apologies, I'm not even doing any justice. He had games of greatness. And I firmly believe this. I'm standing 14 toes down on this statement. Without Jalen Milroe, Alabama doesn't make it to the playoffs last year. And I think what hurts me the most, and it's what hurts me for him, is I hate to see him go out this way. I just wish, and it's why I want Alabama to make the playoffs, we could have made at least a run with him. I ain't saying we got to win it all or we should have won it all, but if he could have made a run, potentially made it to the Final Four, even the championship, I think Alabama's, I guess you'd say, not mood, but what's the word I'm looking for here? Alabama's feelings towards him and how they feel about him, that's a better way of saying it, it would have changed a little bit. Their tone would have changed. Whereas now Alabama didn't make the 12-team playoffs, and then most Bama fans are going to view Milroe as a not-so-great quarterback, and I think that's wrong. I saw this tweet, and it was a good point. How are you going to remember Jalen Milroe? A guy that cost Bama a shot at 2 natties, or a guy that held the locker room together as best as he could when Saban retired and won Bama an SEC championship? Which are you? I thought that was an outstanding question because There's two ways you can look at it, and both of them, there's arguments, and I mean legit arguments. Me personally, and this is just me, I'm choosing to remember Jalen Milroe as the guy who held Alabama together. I'm telling you, with that terrible offensive line last year, all the bad snaps, without a running quarterback like Milroe, Alabama, I don't even know if they win 9 games. And this year, whether some of you want to admit it or not, it was a rebuilding season without Saban there. And I know Bama fans are going to cry all about, oh, well, if we had Ty Simpson, we would have made it. Dude, Ty Simpson's worse than Milroe. What are you talking about? Bama fans sound so stupid when they say Ty Simpson's better than Milroe. He's not. And you want to know why he's not? Because if he was better, he'd be playing over him. Let me tell you something, bozo. If Ty Simpson was better than Jalen Milroe, then Nick Saban and DeBoer would have been playing him over him. Looking ahead, though, and here's the next question I just thought about. Is Milroe even going to play in the bowl game? I have no idea. I assume he probably will, and then after the game against Michigan, he'll declare for the NFL draft, and we'll see what happens from there. I'd say he'd probably be best case scenario, late first-round pick, worst case scenario, late second-round pick. I already know some people are going to say, what? How in the world is he going to be a first or second-round pick? Listen up, buddy. NFL, they draft you off of potential, not just how good your college numbers are. If they drafted you off of how good you played in college, then Tim Tebow would have been the first overall pick, and same thing with Johnny Manziel. They also draft guys who have good size, and Milroe has great NFL size. Not exactly the same, but a similar prospect to Anthony Richardson, who went top 5. And heck, I don't think there's any debate in this. Milroe looked way better than Richardson coming out of college. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it looks like this is the end for Milroe. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But